The woods stood at the edge of town, dark, foreboding. People told stories, whispers of a witch. They said she was ancient, as old as the trees themselves. They said she haunted the woods. Her presence felt in every shadow, every rustle of leaves. Her laughter echoed through the trees, a chilling sound that sent shivers down spines. No one dared to go there, not anymore. The stories were enough to keep even the bravest souls away.
The wind howled through the trees, twisting branches, like skeletal fingers, reaching out to grab anyone who ventured too close, reaching out, beckoning, or warning. The leaves rustled, whispered secrets, secrets carried by the wind, secrets no one wanted to hear, secrets that spoke of old curses and lost souls.
The path was overgrown, swallowed by the forest. Thorns tore at clothes, scratched at skin, as if the forest itself was alive, like the woods themselves were trying to keep you out, or perhaps trying to keep something in. A sign, perhaps, a warning to those who dared to listen. Billy was never one to back down from a dare. He thrived on challenges, always eager to prove himself, especially not from Mike Thomas. Mike was all talk, all bark, no bite. Billy knew this. He had seen Mike chicken out too many times before.
Bet you won't go into the woods, Mike sneered. Scared? Billy scoffed, rolling his eyes. Scared of that silly story you're on? He couldn't believe Mike thought he would be afraid.
He didn't believe the stories. They were just tales to keep kids from wandering too far. The witch was just a legend, an old wives' tale passed down through generations. A story to scare kids, something to make them behave. At least that's what he told himself. He had to believe it. The sun was already setting, casting long shadows. The air grew colder, and the forest seemed to come alive, making the woods seem even darker, more menacing. Every rustle of leaves sounded like a whisper. Billy took a deep breath, stepped across the threshold, into the unknown. His heart pounded in his chest. He could hear Mike's laughter behind him, fading into the distance. He was alone now, alone with his thoughts and the eerie silence of the woods. The air grew cold, a damp, chilling cold that seeped into your bones. The light from the setting sun was almost gone. Each step deeper into the woods brought a new sound. A twig snapping, leaves crunching, or was it something else? Something breathing, watching?
He thought he saw something move in the corner of his eye, a flash of white. He turned quickly. Nothing. He told himself it was just a bird, but his heart was pounding in his chest, and he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. He stumbled into a clearing. The trees thinned out. Moonlight spilled onto the forest floor. In the center stood an old oak tree, its branches bare, twisted, like the arms of a skeletal giant.
And there, beneath the tree, was a figure, cloaked in shadow. But he could see her eyes, glowing red in the darkness.
Chanting in a low guttural tone. The words were strange, ancient, powerful.
He felt a cold dread grip his heart. He wanted to run, but his feet were rooted to the spot. The figure turned. The hood of her cloak fell back, revealing the face of an old woman. Her skin was pale, drawn tight across her bones. Her eyes, those glowing red eyes, stared right through him.
"You shouldn't be here, boy," she rasped. Her voice was like dry leaves crunching underfoot.
Billy tried to speak, but no words came out. He was paralyzed with fear.
With a cruel, chilling smile. "The forest is mine," she hissed. "And now you are too."
The wind picked up, swirling around them, whistling through the trees. It sounded like laughter, cruel, mocking laughter, the kind that sends shivers down your spine and makes your heart race.
Billy felt a sharp pain in his head. It was like 1,000 needles piercing his brain. He screamed, but the sound was lost in the howling wind. But the wind swallowed his cries. It was as if the forest itself was alive, conspiring to silence him. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. The pain was unbearable, and he felt his strength draining away.
The last thing he saw before everything went black was the witch, standing over him. Her presence was overwhelming, a dark shadow that blotted out the moonlight, her red eyes burning into his soul. They were like two fiery coals filled with malice and ancient power. The next morning they found Billy at the edge of the woods, mumbling to himself. His clothes were torn and his face was pale as a ghost, his eyes vacant, empty. He didn't remember anything except the laughter. That haunting, chilling laughter that echoed in his mind, the chilling laughter of the witch in the woods. It was a sound that would haunt him forever.
Some say, if you listen closely, you can still hear it. Whispering through the trees, waiting, watching. The witch's curse lingers, a dark presence that never truly fades away.